for working on the bird's breast. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. So I believe I was using my neutral tint for most of what I have done on the breast so far. So I'm going to carry on with that. I'm using my double aught again, or still. Here I'm trying to just suggest the fact that there are kind of a confusion of feathers overlaying each other in a variety of directions. No particular rhyme or reason to them. There's there are some white passages here that I think I'm going to want to use my rake for, but right now I think this is working nicely just to use a small brush and give some impression of the randomness of the plumage on the bird's flanks and breast. It's all quite subtle. That's not subtle at all. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of work on the perch here, especially around the feet and legs. That they're defined more by the shadows on the perch than they are by their own modeling. So I'm going to deepen some of those shadows to better define the feet and legs. And for this, I'm going to go back to my ultramarine blue and burnt sienna mix, the browner version of it. Again, I've got ultramarine blue and burnt sienna mix there and there. This is brown, this is more on the blue side. So the reason ultramarine blue and burnt sienna are such a useful neutral brown color is that they're burnt sienna is essentially an orange. It's a desaturated orange, and ultramarine blue obviously is blue. Orange and blue are opposite one another on the color wheel, which makes them complementary colors. And complementary colors have certain properties that can be very useful to painters. If you set them side by side, they one enhances the other. They make them almost luminous. And if you mix them together, they neutralize each other, which is what I'm taking advantage of in my mix here. Neutralizing them desaturates them, makes them closer to gray. And in nature, there are a lot of bright colors in nature, but there are also a lot of pretty dull, boring colors. And this perch is it's a log that's been laying around for quite a long time. So it's quite brown, kind of dead looking. It's interesting because it's got a lot of texture to it, and it makes a nice counterpoint to the brighter colors of some of the birds that I've gotten to perch on it. But this particular bird has a lot of earth tones in it too, and there's not much bright plumage in this bird, but on occasion I'll get a bluebird, or we've had rose-breasted grosbeaks and some birds that have very bright plumage, and this makes an attractive perch for them. All right, that's my timer, letting me know that I'm getting close to the limit on my time on this video. This camera that I'm using will only record a half an hour at a time, so that's 25 minutes. I actually started a little after I set the timer, so I've got a little bit of time left, but getting close to the end here. So I'll try to wrap this up. What defines this perch mostly is the striations that have worn into it. So that's a pretty good start. All right, I'm going to stop this video here, and then maybe I'll start another one so I can continue working on this. All right, I'm back. So I think that this is dry enough that I can go back in and continue working on it. I can also I think I can start adding a little bit of texture to the flanks and breast using my rake. I think I'm going to try using my filbert rake this time. You may remember that, there it is right there. I have, this is actually called a grainer. So that's my filbert grainer right there, and you can see the gaps in the bristles. This here is my number 4 super shader, this is called. It's also got gaps. They're kind of glommed together. It's got gaps in the bristles, and either one of these will work quite nicely to paint the fine feathers on the fine, what would they be called? Bristles, I suppose, on the edges of the feathers. I'm gonna try using this one here, my filbert grainer, and the reason I'm going to use it is because as a filbert, it's got kind of a rounded end to it, and I think that will help me to have the effect that I'm painting with it look a little less mechanical. So let's see, I'm gonna use my neutral tint. Because this is a pretty large brush, it will actually carry quite a bit of paint. I want to use a really light touch with this. And pay attention to the directionality of my strokes. That's a little dark. I'm going to dab it with a paper towel. I'm going straight in, straight back out, and it's not doing much, but that's all right. I can kill the effect a little bit with by going over it with a wet wash. That's good, I like that. I'm using a very light touch, so only a few of the bristles are actually touching the paper and transferring paint. And my brush has gotten a little dry, so the passages that I'm painting are lighter in value. All right, I think that's a good place to stop. It's flirting with being gimmicky.